Welcome back to season 2 of Let's Be Raw podcast. Today, I'm even more excited about the special guest that I have on because in season 1, majority of the women that I had on, I have known them for a number of years, already knew their story. So it's very easy to interview them, navigate through their story, help them push through sharing their story. But my today guest, I literally just met her maybe like a couple of months ago, honored her at my Porsche event as one of the first Let's Be Raw women featured in the inaugural edition of the magazine. Make sure that you all go after this for this episode. You'll actually be able to order the magazine. Today we have first. Let me stop because y'all know I do not introduce my guests. I love for them to be able to introduce themselves. But let me tell you what today's topic is. It's alone, not abandoned, from survival to selfhood. This is the journey of finally becoming. So I'm going to turn to my beautiful guest here because I'm loving this green she has on. And introduce yourself to the LBR community. Tell us who you are, not what you do.
Okay. And thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
And then also thank you so much for recognizing women as who they are. Because I think even myself, I got caught up in what I do and making that my identity. And it's not. And that's okay.
That's right.
And it's beautiful that someone reminds us that, hey, you're a person. Who was that person before you did all of this? So who I am Sabrina Lewis. I am, as you stated, third of 9 children. I'm from a small town, Wichita Falls. Currently, I do, in fact, run a nonprofit, Texas Beams, building economic awareness and monetary sustainability, here known in Houston as Houston Money Week, where we're about spreading financial wellness. Who am I? I am a very quiet, reserved person, very much so. I love poetry, love reading, writing, and lots of running, surprisingly.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
You're running. I love it.
I love running.
So long distance.
Long distance.
Okay.
I had coaches in the past when I was younger trying to get me to do sprints.
Because I was a sprinter. Like,
see, I can see that.
I did like the 4x4. That's about all you got from me, but I won't do it any more than that.
See, my coaches would try to, because I would run about 3 miles.
Ooh.
And then they'll be like, okay, finish line is coming up. Take off.
Take off.
They'd
okay.
be like, you could sprint. I could, or I could just take my time.
Okay.
And get through this. So I did cross country, ran soccer, and I do a lot of swimming in my free time.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. So see, all these things I didn't know. That's why even when we first met we did like a late lunch, kind of went into early evening, right? I even said to you, don't share everything because I also wanted the interview to be very authentic, even my reactions and how I responded. And this was truly going to be my opportunity. I wanted to learn even more about you because when you came as a referral from the nomination with the magazine and then we met up, I'm like, wait a minute, she is way more than what was shared with me. And you have a lot of layers, even with you being as young as you are. And I can say that because, I'm 50 now, so
you don't look it. Stop telling your secrets in your business, and I'm telling you they couldn't tell.
Right. So, Miss Sabrina Lewis, one of 9, and you're in the top. Like you said, I'm in the top 3. I love that. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's jump into it. Let's jump into these questions for you. So, let's talk about. From survival to selfhood, this is a journey of finally becoming your own. What happens when the noise fades, the expectations fall away, and you're finally left with you? So let's talk about how did growing up as the third of 9 children, navigating foster care, you share that with me, stepping into being a caregiver role at such a young age, shape your identity?
It made me, it gave me a mama personality. It really, really did. And I can say that sincerely. I'm a big nurturer. earlier when we were talking about BC powder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I introduced a lot of my friends in college to BC powder.
BC powder, yeah.
I had a tub underneath my bed because I grew up in my grandmother's home. So always, grandma's always got something somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I would pull from underneath my bed. And it was like an entire pharmacy.
Wow.
So yeah, I was like, y'all all need to take BC powders if we're gonna go out tonight. And everybody
so we don't wake up with any headaches.
Yes.
Right.
And so, and even now, as at 33, I'm still that person that's like, oh, okay, well, did you take something? Did you eat something? Y'all, we probably should go Whataburger afterwards. We got to get some grease to soak it up. Everybody just be looking at me like,
like they left their mama at home. They supposed to be at college. They want to be adults.
Yeah,
right.
I'm walking up behind people, pulling up bra straps, checking on people. So that is the personality that's created for me, and it's even like that in my romantic life. Very much so. Oh, did you grab some food or wash that dish? I don't know why you would even. So it's created
so
a
it's
mama
innate
persona.
in you. Yeah. Right.
Most people blame it on Virgo, being a Virgo, but it's
navigate. So weaving the foster care side of it. So I'm being one of three, the third out of 9 children, and then there's the foster care side of it. How did that come about?
So my mother gave us to my grandmother. She ended up adopting us. So at the time that I was 13, I was still considered like a ward of the state, technically. And so living with my grandparents, it's best if I explain this part. My older brother and sister, they're only 2 years apart. And then 6 years later came me. Okay. And then after that, I was such a wonderful child. My mom just kept having babies. And then God was like, on the 7th or the 8th one, well, she got her tubes tied. And God was like, I'm going to send you some more so you can try to get close to Sabrina. But it never happened. But it's okay. But navigating that was very hard. I don't think that I realized what a survival mode it put me in at all times. Even when, no matter what age you are, I feel like you throw temper tantrums or you have like...
You even do it as adults.
Yeah,
right.
You have authentic reactions. But I think being in that position for so long made me a person that did not immediately react. Like, my attorney will tell you, I don't know how Sabrina just smiled in such and such or did such and such, because for so long it was wash the dishes, clean the clothes, do this, do that. It didn't matter if somebody picked on you at school. It didn't matter if you didn't get that I didn't get the grade I wanted. It didn't matter if someone was saying something extremely hurtful or anything like that. Just keep going.
Business as
usual.
Because
it's business as usual, because there are 6 other people who need their clothes laid out, who need a bottle made, who need breakfast made. We got to do laundry. No matter what, you just keep going. You got to make up the bed. My grandmother was a real big stickler about that. And it just put me in a space of being able to go without recognizing my emotions.
And I was hoping you were going to go there, because that's where I was like, I'm hoping that's where she's getting ready to take this, because I want to expound on that right there. So many times, and I'm sure you can testify to this, as a Black and brown woman, we are always told that we have to check our emotions, right? Everybody else comes before us. We can't express what we're going through. And I'm realizing, even being at the age that I'm at now, after writing my book, Pieces of Me, and I went back and this past weekend, because it's funny, I wrote the book, and I'm like, I wrote each chapter. Yeah. Every word is my word, right? But when you're writing it chapter from chapter, and then you say, okay, here's the manuscript, it's done now, send it off and let's publish it and all of that. And then I turned around and sat down and actually now read it from cover to back, right? I looked at it and I said, girl, you never really even got to develop your emotional maturity, right? Yeah. I was mature in everything else, from a mindset, like you said, from knowing what I wanted out of life, financial maturity. I knew all of that, but that emotional side of it, I never got to develop, because it was the same thing. I'm the oldest of 4. My mom was a single mother. There's a lot of pressure there, and it's exactly what it was. If there was something, I was bullied in school, I come home, my mama made it very clear. Either you go and whoop somebody behind, but you ain't coming up in here crying about it because we got things to do. So I had to swallow that. And so I'm glad you said that, because do you feel not being able to obviously lean into that emotional side of you and letting that develop, how has that played into your adult life? Because you just said your attorney recognized, he's like, I don't know how, like, you don't show no emotion, you just went along with it.
There have been people in the past who have attacked me because there was something very high intense happening. Mm-hmm. And my response was sit poised. Okay, I see that you feel that way. However, this is A, B, C, and D. Mm-hmm. Even though internally,
you on fire.
I'm screaming. I'm actually angry because you've actually done wrong to me. Mm-hmm. But I have to sit here and just be poised with it. And that was an actual college situation that happened. And it just stands out to me. There were two people who had attempted to, not even attempted, who had disrespected me, mm-hmm. Undermined my authority, and then sat down and acted as if I was supposed to defend them when you've been disrespecting me.
Wow.
And then attempted to get me removed from, quote unquote, my position. Mm-hmm. And it was a paid position, so I was big mad.
Yes, right.
Big mad. It was a paid position.
We big mad.
Yeah, I was big mad. And so they said, you're not even showing any emotion.
So, and a lot of times, even when you don't show emotion, now it's you don't care.
Yeah,
and that's not it at all.
That I don't care, but one, I was taught not to do it. Mm-hmm. I'm sure everybody's heard the saying, cry and I give you something to cry for. So that's been internally burned into my brain. Showing emotion was a sign of disrespect or disagreement and weakness too. So I just didn't. Mm-hmm. So anytime something came to me, I didn't. But repeat your question, because I just got off topic.
No. Actually staying on topic. The whole premise behind it was from the younger side of Sabrina learning that and how it's now shown up as an adult. And let's even take it a step further, because you have definitely done a great job. You recognize it, right? And you know that. How have you started course correcting?
Oh, my course correction has actually been extremely recent, like within the last 4 or 5 years. Mm-hmm. And so the first time I course corrected was because I was dealing with something in a workplace about 4 or 5 years ago. And it had made me physically sick, because when you push down,
it's like swallowing toxic.
Yes, it is swallowing toxic. Mm-hmm. It was causing chest pains. It was causing, like, I had light sensitivity. A friend of mine, she had to physically carry me on her back into a hospital. They had to put me under anesthesia just to kind of calm you down, calm down, relieve the pain.
Wow.
And I went to at least 15 doctors. Nobody knew what was wrong. It wasn't until I went to a neurologist and my mom was in town and went with me and took me that the doctor was like, oh, you just need to become a Bartista. Now, mind you, I had no Bartista bills. I had real bills.
Right.
But he said the only people that I've ever seen come in with these types of symptoms are older white males. And he said it just like that. He said older white males who are in corporate.
Because of the high stress level. Okay, got it.
Because of the type of money. I explained to him what I do, and he said, well, you should just become a Bartista. Mm-hmm. And
easier said than that.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
I know you think that's my living cost, but it's not. Mm-hmm. But my mom, she was there, and she said, oh, it's all in her head. And I know she didn't mean anything ill intent by it. Right. But when she said that,
did it also take you back to childhood?
It triggered in me unknowingly that, oh, you need to fix your face. You know what I'm saying? Like, fix your face. Ain't nothing really wrong with you. But it was something wrong with me. I had high blood pressure, but I ran 6-7 miles a day. I was swimming all the time. Was very active human being. There was no reason that I should be going through that type of thing, except for the fact that, you were being mistreated and discriminated against in the workplace. And instead of you being able to say something, you had to swallow it and smile in the same individuals' faces who were mistreating you. And so eventually I did, in fact, quit the job and I went out to the country. And that's when I began to write to try to figure out exactly what I was supposed to be doing with my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I was hoping. Then from there, leading into the title was, alone but not abandoned.
Yeah.
So at what age were you at this point?
I was 28.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Let just for the audience think about and if you close your eyes and take yourself back to being 28 years of age. And you're at this point in your life where everything is compounding on you. Yeah. Work, family, friends, all of that. Yeah. And you had the wherewithal and the strength to say, I'm getting ready to remove myself from all of this. Because so many of us would just keep pushing through, right? Take me back to that moment.
I packed all my things. I paid.
Oh, you went right on in.
Oh, baby, I was gone. Big gone. And I had money set up. And this was also a time in my life where I had just downsized to a studio. I went from this really large condo to a studio. So rent was a little bit of nothing. And I packed up everything, and I had been reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and a bunch of other financial literacy books like, oh, this is why things are not going well for me. This is why our society or our community is feeling this. So I had started downsizing simply from being inspired. And so I packed up everything, and I got a lease for 6 months, paid up the 6-month lease, and moved out to Hempstead into a house in the middle of the country.
Middle of the country.
Now, baby, the earth smells so good.
How far away from family and your immediate friends and all of that would that have been?
Family, my siblings were still like inside of Houston. My sister was in Hempstead because she went to PV A&M. But family all of my family is in Wichita Falls. Most of them.
Okay, and how far that is?
6 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So since I've moved here, I've had 3 other siblings move to Houston as well. So it's 4 of us here in Houston now. But I went out there, paid up the lease, and I just wrote. And I would get up every day and I would run and I would write and I would run and I would write and I would just shut myself in the room and just like not talk to anybody, nothing.
I'm so impressed. Like I need to do that. What I was gonna say.
I thought I was going crazy.
I was gonna say, first of all, what did family say? Like let's start with your mama.
I think.
Because you're 28, and as a mother, I'm just going to say this, as a mother, even at 28, we still don't feel like our children know what they're doing and what they want to do. Are they making good decisions?
My poor mama. One, she's told me to sit down and quit doing so much. But not in the sense of, she doesn't love me or she doesn't love the things that I do. But in the sense of when mothers vicariously live for their children.
Right. And I also think mothers will project their fears onto their children. So even though they want to live vicariously and say, baby, go do this, I wish I could do it, a good amount of time their own fears will also be projected.
Absolutely. And for her, it was more of a, what you gonna do next? Because if you see my track record of stuff that I just did top, and would just move on to the next thing. And to this day, I'm not sure what causes me to do that. So I can't wait for the day when that reveals itself. But I'm pretty sure that they were like, that's just Brina being Brina. But I've always been very quiet. Get done when I'm supposed to get done, but I've always been very quiet. Mama didn't really say much to me. I think she was happy that I was well.
Yes.
Because I don't think that anyone in our family has ever been so sick because of stress. Right. And I think that maybe she came to a realization that all of the great things my baby is doing is taking a toll on her.
And it's going to shorten her life.
Yeah, and whatever she needs to do, just do
it. And so you're out there 6 months and you're just writing and running. What materialized from that?
What I feel like.
Give me your top 3.
Top 3 things. 1, I ended up becoming Miss Black Texas USA.
Congratulations.
Couldn't just stay out in the country. I had to get back to it. I realized that my goal in life was to help to find a solution or to at least research a solution to be able to make the Black community financially well. Identify what the issue is, specifically the descendants of slaves. Because, go ahead.
And the only reason I'm going to say this is because I want to make sure that you recognize this, and even our audience. You went out there to rediscover yourself, get your health back right, and even in that time frame, you still found the opportunity to figure out how to help others.
See, something wrong with me. I got a complex. I got a complex.
And the reason why I pull that out is because I'm the exact same way. So it's refreshing to meet another sister so I don't feel like I'm crazy, right? Like I'm supposed to be over here healing myself, and I'm still worried about everybody else, right? So I just wanted to point that out, that even in your journey of trying to rediscover Sabrina, you done came with I'm going to go help the whole Black and brown community, right?
All of them. Yeah. And
Okay.
that's exactly what happened. So that materialized.
Okay.
I did that, and within a year's time, I stayed in Hempstead for about a year. But within a year's time, I was back in Houston.
Okay.
Now I'm in Houston. I am now the financial literacy ambassador for the city of Houston because I don't want to say because of my title as Miss Black Texas, but the work I was doing in the community attracted them to
you,
to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a wonderful opportunity, and I was just really living in my purpose.
Okay.
And it was almost as if everything just came together. And every natural born ability that I had was just unfolding itself. And anything that I didn't have was coming together regardless.
Mm-hmm.
It was like
you couldn't stop it. You like on a train and you can't stop this train even if you wanted to.
Sometimes I wouldn't answer my phone. Yeah. I wouldn't answer my phone like, no, I don't want to go to that. And literally somehow somebody find me in a grocery store and be like, oh yeah, well we need you to. And I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm. God said, yeah, you keep trying to redirect yourself over here, but I'm bringing you right back where you're supposed to be. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that was, that's what materialized out of the Hempstead stay. Also, I got back to writing poetry. Something that I told my mom, and I was telling her, like, I just keep hearing and like seeing stories, and they would scare me. And so I told her what one of the stories was, and it was a story about a little girl sitting under a tree, and I explained to her everything. And she said, baby, out there it ain't nothing but like bodies in the ground, unmarked graves and stuff like that, because that's Hempstead.
Right.
That's Hempstead.
Right.
She was just like,
They're
I wouldn't be
speaking
surprised.
to you.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. She said, well, you better tell their stories or, they're just going to keep bothering you. Okay.
Yeah.
But I did. And what broke me down to say that I was, seeing and all those things, I was like, I'm really off my rocker out here in this country. What really broke me down is I was driving and it started raining, but I kept hearing the pieces of the story and like legitimately seeing this young girl underneath a tree out in the park in Hempstead. And it was raining so bad that I couldn't drive anymore. But it wasn't just the rain. It was like my complete visuals. It was just like
blurred.
It was the image of this girl. And so I just sat there in my car. I found an envelope and I just started writing. Once I finished writing her story, then I was able to go. But that's what came out of Hempstead. And I think it taught me to just listen. Yeah. Listen. Because the answers the answers are there. You just need to listen. But that's also where I wrote $1.50 love letter to my nieces. I had tried writing it in so many other places. I did while I was in here, but I could literally only write while I was
Now, why this poem and why to your nieces?
So, one, I don't have no kids.
Okay.
So it was going to go to my nieces.
Okay.
But it was an ode to be able to express to them their value while still presenting money. And when you hear it, it's very simplistic.
Do you want to share it with us?
Do you want me to share it?
Absolutely. Go right
Oh,
ahead.
Lord. My
Listen,
voice carries when I do this.
please, yes.
Oh, Lord.
Come
You
on
would do
here.
that, huh?
You put it out there. Look, we about to shake it up. Show the LBR community something different.
You take some champagne.
Yeah, come on. All right. Well, look, let's toast to it. Here we go.
Here we go. Good Lord.
And I love poetry. So come on here. Yes.
Okay. Dear niece, Auntie has some coins to give you. Just a little change to go into life. Enclosed, you will find a lucky penny. And like this lucky penny, I want you to hold your head up, never give up, give in, or go down. And I assure you, all things you are willing to work 5 times harder for, you will achieve. Here is a nickel to make you tickle. When they say you are doing too much or you're getting too dark, what they meant is you are shining too bright. So just my 2 cents. Take a run in the sun, my love, and shine. Let the vitamin D sink in and keep you strong. Because your black is my black, and our black's hue is greatness. Here is a dime for your time. It is said that when night comes, no man can work. But you are not man. You are divine. And like all things divided by 2, you are divinely equal. Never mind the fact that your equality has not advanced enough in this country to ensure your equity. So communicate how you want to be treated. And pay out some attention or return on investment for how people treat you and not how they say they want to. Here is a quarter of what I've learned along the way. You are the mitochondria to the DNA. You are the Eve gene that begat Eve, love, Adam, and First Nations. So just my 2 cents. Make it 6 plus 1, because baby, this is good. Anytime you step out, it's never just to entertain. See, we step up on stages to encourage, to excel, to enhance all things we touch, taste, smell, and see. Do you hear, Auntie? Here is a golden dollar to make them holler. Should any person, place, or thing touch, taste, smell, or seize your divinity with so much as an unsolicited opinion, repeat after me. I am not the 1, 2, or 3 for your lack of understanding, foolishness, ignorance, or disrespect, or need of so-called self-preservation at the expense of my mental, physical, and or physical degradation. I assure you that my mistreatment is a moral hazard and physical if necessary. You tell them your auntie said, I am the hell to hello. I am the declaration for war, but I am the reason for peace. I am the rhyme to your rhythm. I am the net to my income. I am all good things and goodbye. Now here, count that up. That's 5 pennies, 2 nickels, a dime, 1 quarter, and a golden dollar. It's all you need in this life. So don't forget, in the department store of life, to spend this change, because you may just need it. P.S. Your auntie. We are redefining beauty, and you are the definition.
Oh my God, girl. I had so many different confirmation chills over here. I couldn't stop smiling. I almost started crying. You gave me every emotion. Oh, that was so beautiful, Sabrina. What? Girl, you done impressed me even more at this point. Listen, this is actually going to be perfect for us to go to break. What a wonderful way to do it. Because I want to unpack everything that you just said, but even more importantly, girlfriend, I got some future work for you. We got some things to do. Good, put you up on the stage, everything. Guys, listen, stick and stay with us. We're going to take a break because we've got to thank our amazing sponsor, the Biz Lounge, which we are shooting this podcast. Make sure you check us out online at www.the-bizlounge.com. Schedule a tour, come out, and if you want to shoot your own podcast, we've got the studio for you. We'll be right back, guys. The Biz Lounge is redefining the concept of workspaces by incorporating state-of-the-art technology with ergonomic designs in a space to foster creativity and productivity.
It's not just a workspace. This is a dynamic ecosystem designed for growth, inspiration, and connection.
We'll see you at the Biz Lounge. Welcome back, guys, to Let's Be Raw, Season 2, Episode 12 with Miss Sabrina Lewis. Listen, if you're just now tuning in, you definitely have to go back and start this episode from the beginning and see the highlight right before we went to break. Miss Sabrina has already been very transparent, open, telling us about her initial journey from being one of 9 kids, foster care, learning how to not show her emotions, but then figuring out that not showing her emotions was almost the literal death of her. Yeah. Going out to solitude, which started at 6 months and morphed into a year of you sitting with yourself, redefining who Sabrina is, letting a lot of the facade that and even what society had put on you, family had told you how to act or react or not act to certain situations that you may find yourself in. To now you found a purpose, your passion. Purpose was, I need to help my community become better from a financial literacy standpoint. Your passion was, I love writing, but let me transform this writing to something even more profound, which is poetry, emotion. And poetry that has a meaning and is going to have an impact where you started first with your immediate family, your nieces, right? Yeah. So now all of that has happened, and now Sabrina is back in Houston. Yeah. And Sabrina decides out of all of that to now run for Miss Black Texas.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was Crown Miss Black Texas while I was still living in Hempstead.
Okay.
When I came back, by the time I came back to Houston, I was Miss Black Texas.
Okay.
Everywhere I went, I was just like,
okay, so how we go from all of what you just told, and also more importantly, because you also said you're somebody that's very reserved, you're an introvert, right? Mm-hmm. You don't show a whole lot of emotion. You don't have a problem being alone with yourself, but not being lonely. So let's make that very clear, right? And then you say, I'm getting ready to go and compete to be Miss Black Texas and be up on the stage.
That wasn't my first pageant, but in my first pageant, first off, Sabrina on stage is actually, that's not even Sabrina. That's Sis.
Okay.
That's Say It Sabrina.
Okay.
That's Sabrina speaking out loud.
Okay. I got my alter ego.
Yeah.
That's Dee Dee.
It's two totally different parts. You know what I'm saying? Sis is going to tell you something.
Okay.
Sabrina will, do you think that's the right choice? Mm-hmm. Sis, that ain't it. Mm-hmm. That ain't it.
Oh, that attitude come out. That head get the rolling. Okay.
Yeah. But while I was out in Hempstead writing, and as I wrote, I came to the conclusion of what I needed to do. So I did start looking to figure out who was out there doing something, because I think a lot of times we have a lot of splitting off and everybody's doing their own thing. There's all these different organizations all doing the same thing but not working together. Mm-hmm. So I started to look, and I seen the Miss Black USA scholarship pageant. And I said, well, I did a pageant in like 2 years. The first and last one I did, I won in college. And then I was like, well, let me do it. I'm probably too old, right? Pageant world, 2024 is you at your peak. You're done. And so I applied, and I sent over all the stuff I've ever done and whatnot. And I honestly did not expect to hear back from them. Mm-hmm. I got a call maybe like a week or so later that was like, hey, we seen your application. We think that you might be a good fit for a contestant to compete for Miss Black Texas. So I was like, are you sure? She was like, how old are you? I told her how old I was. And she was like, okay, well, how about you do, our MS versus our MISS? You would fit in our MISS, but how about you do the MS because you're going to turn 29. That's when the pageant happened.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, okay, I'll do it. I did it, went through their process, and eventually was crowned Miss Black Texas. Mm-hmm. I just really wanted to sit down. Mm-hmm. But by the time I got back to Houston, I was
Miss Black Texas. Okay.
When I finally decided to move back. And by then I had made the connection with the city of Houston and had been doing drive-through food giveaways and connecting people to different financial literacy resources across the city.
So that played really into the whole purpose side of things as well. So something, again, that you had a passion for played into that purpose that you figured out being in Hempstead, right? So now Miss Black Texas, and now you've moved into. So is this how Houston Money Week, the whole connection with that?
So I ended up as a director of Bank on Houston.
Okay.
I had been an ambassador for them in the Financial Empowerment Center for about a year. And time went on and an opportunity opened up and they said, hey, you've been doing the work. You have exceeded our expectations.
Mm-hmm.
You've taken the program somewhere else and you just an ambassador. How about you,
come
apply?
get paid for this?
Yeah, you really get paid.
Make some money.
And I ended up taking the position and just took it into a completely new trajectory. We went from 11 accounts, safe and affordable bank account, to 43 when I left.
Wow.
Impacted 300,000 residents within my first year.
Okay.
The number total since the beginning of the program was 500,000. So I over doubled it in 1 year.
Wow.
So yeah. So that was that was the bank on Houston as the director, and while I was there, Houston Money Week, a standing organization for a very long time as well, said, "Hey, we want you to come revamp us."
Mm-hmm.
So I took it on as a volunteer type of thing, and now I'm fully revamping and reorganizing strategically, thinking how to.
And sis is doing some amazing job, like literally, yeah. I've just been so impressed just on your resume, your story, your journey, even learning how it's okay to go sit down for a minute, right? Regroup, let all of the dust settle, and just being one with yourself. Yeah. If you had something to share right now before we go to some of the other questions, what do you think was the hardest part of that for you? To truly just get in alignment with Sabrina?
The hardest part of that was recognizing that I am that person who did all of that, mm-hmm. and that it's really as big as people say it is. Because when you're in it, me personally, I'm like, oh yeah, I just did, mm-hmm. and I just never playing too big on my own name.
But that's also cultural wise, as far as us women are concerned. Like, God forbid we want to pat our own selves on the back or shout mm-hmm. from the rooftop, or now we're being cocky, we're being conceited and all of that. You're full of yourself.
You're too high on your high horse.
Right. Yeah.
And sometimes I do hear that. That's something my grandma used to say to me all the time. Get off your high horse now. Get off your high horse.
Yes.
I am now 33 years old. And I'm going to sit on my horse.
We went through mental trauma with the way we were raised. And I look back, I'm like, we couldn't speak up. We couldn't express our emotions, right? Mm-hmm. And again, even as a female, there was even more limitations mm-hmm. on us. I just had this conversation with my husband today. Him and my daughter, our daughter was having a conversation, and my husband, in good spirit, is trying to explain to my daughter why, from a male's perspective, why she's having this particular issue, and it's with her brothers, mm-hmm. right? And so as he's telling me this, and the first thing he started going to is, well, boys aren't as mature as women are, and you're gonna have to give some allowance to that. And I stopped him. I said, this is what's wrong right here. This isn't what we should be telling her, that she should be able to accept subpar treatment
mm-hmm. or actions,
and have subpar expectations, mm-hmm. right, of any man in her life, even including her brothers, because men aren't as mature. They
boys
mature.
Will be boys.
That's what I told him. I said, that's no different than telling her that men are going to be men. So if a man cheat, that should be okay, because mm-hmm. that's just in their nature. Mm-hmm. But as women, all those limitations that get put on us and expectations that get put on us, how unfair that is.
I think about a time.
And it's trauma.
My first car was a Cadillac too. But when I bought my first car, I actually bought two cars. And my brother got the other car. And my brother didn't have a job, didn't have a license, none of that. And my parents let him drive it. And he was out in the country playing chicken and crashed it. And I was responsible still for allowing him to drive my car and all these other things. And I was 18. Mm-hmm. And I went out to a club one night. Club closed at what time? 2, right? Mm-hmm. I came in at like 1:30.
Right. So you didn't even stay
12
till
o'clock.
the lights came on at the club.
My mama was blowing up my phone, the phone that I paid the bill for.
Okay.
My
Ooh.
brother didn't pay his phone bill because he
Okay.
didn't have no job.
Right.
He said he was younger than me. Johnny, I love you. But
See, this that authenticity side that's coming out. Yeah. Go on, tell it.
I love
Spill
you.
the tea.
You all the way in Colorado, I love you. But you know, they let him stay out overnight. And I don't remember him getting whopped upside the head. I don't remember him getting chastised. None of that. But I remember being so angry.
Mm-hmm.
How dare you let him drive my car?
Mm-hmm.
It's bad enough that parents don't have to buy you a car. So I guess I could have bought my own car, right? Which I did. It's bad enough that I had to pay for the car. And when I paid for the car, it was the second car. And nobody gave me any money for giving that car away, essentially, to my brother, who then just crashed it. Without a license.
There's still trauma there. You know that, right? Yeah.
It was definitely still trauma. My alone time now is a lot more crying. It is a lot more grieving. It is a lot more like, for a long time, I just figured that, I guess the way I digested was the things that I went through were to make me stronger and to build my character.
It says that's another
But now
trauma.
I see them as now my alone time. Sometimes Tuesday night, Tuesday, Wednesdays, when it's kind of like my down evenings right now, and Fridays, I cry. I cry because
as a little girl, you couldn't.
I couldn't. And people have mistreated me, and I didn't know to stand up for myself. Or if I did, I tried to tiptoe around how I did it. I think, well, how different could my life have been? Even though it is what it is right now, and it's a good life. It's not a bad one. But how much different would I be out there with Rihanna?
Right. That part.
Because that's what I think to myself. But a lot of it just makes me very, very. It does make me very sad. It makes me very, very sad. I probably cried last week 2 or 3 times.
Have you ever had a conversation with your mother just about some of these emotions and things that are coming up now and the trauma side of it? Have you had a authentic conversation, just you and her?
No, I don't think so. Not really heavy, because I do consider her, and I consider how much guilt she carries for the childhood she gave us.
Okay.
So my grandmother adopted us, and my grandmother is not a very nice person. She's very, like, if somebody in my family call you Reed, it means you need to straighten up, act right, and quit being so dear. Forgive me for cussing.
No, but go ahead.
She's not a very nice person.
Okay.
Very, very mean person. And my mother allowed her to adopt us by giving us over to her to avoid us going 10 different ways. And I always excused her behavior of, at least she held all of us together. At my papa's funeral, I learned that she didn't want us. My papa told her, "You're going to take them kids." And then a lot of things started to make sense.
Meaning your grandmother.
Yeah, he told my grandma.
Your grandmother didn't want to take you all.
She didn't take all of us now. She was living her best life. And she had worked for her good life. She had. Her and my papa, they owned their home. They did what they were supposed to do. But we found out at my papa's funeral that it wasn't my grandmother that wanted to give. But and then a lot of things started to make sense. Like, my papa always cooked while grandma was like always mad about something, or always telling us, I didn't have to take all of y'all in. That was me being at the kindness of my heart. No, my papa told you to. And I'm pretty sure he put his foot. It's funny because they're like polar opposites. There was very few things I can remember in my life that my papa put his foot down about. And I remember one time him telling my grandma, like, if you put your hands on Johnny, which is one of my brothers, again, I'm going to leave you, and I'm going to take this boy with me. She was just, like, not a good person when it came to us behind the scenes. And so, Where was I going with that? I just got lost in that one.
So I was asking you about, no, it's fine, about having the conversation with your mother.
I never had a conversation with her particularly about how I may or may not feel towards her about it. I remember I told her what was my breaking point with my grandma when I ran away 17. I ran away. I ran away around the corner to my mama's house, but I ran away.
But yeah, you like enough is enough.
Yeah. I came home one night, and all of my siblings were lined up in a line, and they had been waiting on me all night to eat. She didn't feed them, didn't let them bathe, didn't do none of that. So, I'm sorry.
Take your time. You don't have to apologize. Take your time.
She was like, I don't even think if she said anything to me that night. I cannot remember for the life of me. But where I was a college field trip out of town. And she said, well, if you're going to stay out on that, a bus dropped me off at the house.
So it's school related.
It's school related.
Right.
They was just all, oh my God. And they had eaten. And
so she punishing them because you're not home, so she can punish you.
Yeah. And they wasn't asleep. They were just sitting there. It was probably like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning when we got back. And that was my breaking point. You mean they got out of school at 4 o'clock. Last meal you had in school was at like 11:30, 12. They are sitting up. Kids, if I was 16 or 17 when that happened, Johnny wasn't in the home anymore. He was 2 years younger than me. So the next one after me was 4 years. So if I'm 17, the oldest one in there could possibly be 13. Everybody else is 2 years down, 2 years down, 2 years down. The only one that she fed was the youngest one because she favored him. And that's not his fault. But she favored him. And that was my literal breaking point. And I told my mom about that. And she was livid. In my chest, what I wanted to say was, but you put us there. You left us. All of her siblings, all of my cousins, she only got 2 siblings. She came from a smaller family. Their moms and dads refused to leave their kids with her.
With your grandmother?
Yeah.
Like they knew.
Not even for a few hours or a few days. It would have to be a like when I say dire, I mean dire situation to leave us there. Still gratitude for growing up with my siblings because I see some people who have siblings that they don't really know and stuff like that. But that was my breaking point, and I told my mom about that situation. She was upset, and she was like, I'm taking care of her. And I say this with, like, everything comes back around. Now she does. She watches my grandmother, helps my grandmother out. My grandmother is kind of like losing a wherewithal. But it's like, yeah, she's a bad person. But you kind of like, you left us there.
Right.
You left us there.
Right.
Regardless of the reason. And there was a time in my life where I had to reconcile that I was left, there. I was giving up for adoption to my grandmother. And I did the research. I wanted to understand what was the percentage of the population that was affected by crack? What was the percentage of the population that went to go live with grandparents? What was the percentage of the population? Where did I fall statistically with that? I had to reconcile. And the only way I could reconcile was reasonable numbers. And statistically, it was more likely that I was than I wasn't. Crack did a number on the Black community. And before that era, you're dealing with people who may have been dealing with discrimination at a totally different level. And there's no in between. Like my grandparents, they picked cotton. They lived, some of them, I think my grandmother lived on a plantation, sharecropping essentially. Her father was driven down from down here somewhere, down by Louisiana, I don't even know where, but up north, and his brother was taken. They was
So
a
there's
little bit,
separation
yeah,
there.
they were a little lighter complected. Word on the street was he was hollering at somebody that had no melanation, and they took him and did whatever he did. My great grandfather bought land or whatnot and raised them, and he was not a very, nice person. Her mother passed, but like they lived in a small town. There may have been some abuse that went on. They gave away her first child, my grandmother's first child, for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm. So she got her own trauma.
She got her own trauma.
Dealing with, right?
And she raised 3 kids,
right?
And 2 out of the 3 knew, like, don't. When we get it, thank you, appreciate you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But when she got all of us back, not all of us back, but when she got all of us, I think a lot of women a long time ago had kids and didn't want to have them, but they had them.
Yeah.
They loved them, and they had them.
Mm-hmm.
That second
just
set,
because you got a uterus don't mean you're supposed to be a mama.
Exactly. But that second stage, it's like, oh, I'm not going to make the same mistakes that I made before. And
right.
So maybe you're a little bit harder.
Mm-hmm.
In her case, I think she really resented having to raise us.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even think she did. She didn't want us. We found out at the funeral.
Well, and
my whole perspective.
It wasn't even you all she had the resentment to.
Mm-hmm.
It was your mother, right?
Yeah.
But she couldn't take it out on her, so she had to take it out on you.
On some babies, though. It's like,
right.
At some point, even if I was mad at a grown person, I would never take it. It's two people you don't treat, kids and old folks.
That's where the generational curse side of it changes. You recognize that bad behavior. Yeah. You course correct it because that's something that's not even in your spirit. It wouldn't even naturally come. It wouldn't come to you naturally to do any of those things, right?
Yeah.
I want to stay with your mom on for just a moment because I'm big on how important it is while our mothers are still alive to have some of the most difficult conversations. You're going to have that conversation. You're going to, and I say you not just have to, you need to, because what I'm also hearing from you is that the disappointment and even anger and hurt that you had with your grandmother, a big part of that is to your mom. A big part of that. And I get we want to give them grace, but you can still give grace while still trying to understand. And really, I've gone on camera before and I've said this time and time again, one of the biggest pivotal moments with my mother was taking her out, and I shared that with you, taking her out to dinner and sitting her down and saying, I have a whole lot of unanswered questions. And versus me trying to do, which is what because I did that, I tried to assume, I tried to justify, I tried to fill in her own blanks. Oh, well, my mama did this because I think I know this, so this is why she did that. No. I was so off on so many points. It was ridiculous. But sitting down and having a conversation with her and asking those hard questions, because same situation, my grandmother didn't legally adopt us, but my mother decided that, hey, I'm tired. Like, I want to go and pursue and have my own life. And my mom's got her whole history of why she did that. I can definitely understand it today. But as a child, I didn't. Why are you leaving? We down here with our grandmother who has no running water, no electricity, no indoor plumbing. And in my mind, you living the good life over here. I didn't ask to be here. Like, all those things went through, and I had to sit down. And my reconciliation with my mother was, we're going to have a very tough conversation, but not as mother and daughter. It had to be as two women. And I needed her to look at me across the table as a woman and just tell me your story. And I think, and I feel that you're going to have to do that. And it's better to do it while your mother can still tell her story authentically, even if it hurts. But I think also it's going to allow you to really heal from those wounds that grandmother inflicted on you, to be able to understand. Number one, like, I'm not even your mother's child, but the first thing that would come to my mind is, why did you keep having kids after the first one or two? Like for me, the journey starts there. The journey for me is at 1 or 2, you probably almost know whether or not you can handle anymore at this point. And do I even have the natural motherly instincts, the natural motherly nurturing side, the caregiver that's going to take from not just birthing a human being, but raising and guiding this human being up? Your mother decided to do it 9 times.
I'm gonna give her grace on the 8 and the 9.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. 7. Okay. 7.
Times.
Okay. Okay.
I have no, baby. I can't tell you.
But you see,
9.
right? And so that's you. So funny how you the whole time I have watched it. Even though I've been sitting here in this interview, I feel like I'm up here and I'm watching you, and you are taking it exactly where next was gonna go. That's got to be a big reason why at 33 years old.
I don't have children.
You don't have children. And I'm sure it's not because you can't or whatever. I think that obviously that's all played into it, right?
Yeah, for me, it's finding somebody that if something happens to me tomorrow, I know that my kids are safe. Like, I'm very, very big on that. And I might have cut out some good contenders, and God be with you. But
he said they're like the fourth. Okay.
God be with you. But I feel like if I have children, I only have one job.
Mm-hmm.
And that's to provide them the best father possible. And maybe I even have unrealistic expectations of that man as a father.
Okay.
But that's my one job. And apparently I haven't done the job yet.
Because now I'm going to say, just for kicks and giggles, what's the ideal father for you, for your children, for your future children? Build a father.
Build a father. Someone who's absolutely financially stable. Someone who can care for children. I don't think I've ever dated a man who cannot care for children. I really honestly haven't. So why none of them are not the father of my child?
Well, maybe they won't financially.
But they might not be.
Okay.
Because I do say that if I have children, I would like to have 5. But now I'm getting up there. I don't know if 5 is feasible unless it's some multiple births or something.
Okay.
But financially stable, can care for children without me.
Right.
Like, can really emotionally be there for them without me.
Okay. Why is that important? Because you put a lot of emphasis on it.
Anything could happen to me.
Okay.
I could get Alzheimer's at an early age. I could have an aneurysm from working in the community. Another COVID could hit, and it could just be my time. And I've seen men trying to care for their kids
and can't.
They don't have the emotional capacity. They don't have the patience. And I really want someone who can, so that they're not choosing someone who doesn't care about them if I'm no longer there.
Got it.
You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
I feel like some men marry specifically after having children, and maybe they're responsible for the kids because they just want somebody to take care of them. They're not really concerned with how they do it. Just make sure it's done. Make sure they're going to school every day. Make sure they eat. Whatever you do in between this, I don't really care. As long as A, B, C, and D metric are being hit. But for me, that's like an important piece, because my grandfather was a very, very nice person. Very, very sweet person. I can actually see a likeness in his personality with my dad's. They're both funny. They think everything is a joke. My grandfather has passed in. They think everything is a joke. Like, come in here, tore it from the floor because a tornado hit you.
They're laughing.
This is that old back porch laugh, and he's going to make a joke. He was very kind, but I feel like he should have been able to step over my grandmother and stand in a place as a man to say, that's not how you treat babies, you know. But I think sometimes maybe in his mind, well, she's a woman, she probably knows best. Even when sometimes she just, the majority of the time she went too far.
Well, he probably also didn't want that smoke.
He
probably didn't want whatever she was giving to y'all. He probably got it 10 times behind closed doors, and he didn't want that smoke.
You know,
because grandmama, back in the day,
apparently she had, my grandmother, I'm taller. I'm 5'8.5". I'm pretty tall. My grandmother's probably like 5'1", somewhere between there.
She's that's 5'2".
Yeah. My grandfather's 6'1", 6'2". Apparently she used to have him hiding in the closet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He knew before y'all got there. I don't want that smoke. He probably was even a little happy. She got some other distractions. Keep her off of me.
That's
Think about it.
That's so crazy. That's so abusive.
Yeah. It was abusive.
That's so toxic and abusive. And even on his deathbed, in his final year, when he got sick, I remember I would come to the house and bring him a Coke. Mm-hmm. I love Cokes. And I'd make it nostalgic. I'd make sure I bring him one in like a glass bottle. Mm-hmm. And I would bring him whatever he wanted, some Bluebell ice cream or whatever. And he'd stand in the doorway and he would just be like, treat me so good.
Mm. Something as simple as a Coke and some Bluebell ice cream.
And I used to bring it. I didn't know what else to get him.
Right.
So that's what I would bring him. And he would just say that as if he had never been treated good. I was like, Mama, how else are we supposed to treat you? Mm-hmm. Then my grandma would act like a little child. You didn't give me nothing. Mm-hmm. I asked you what you wanted. You said you didn't want nothing. Then she asked my papa for his coat. And he'd just bring it over to her like a little child. Don't you give her your coat? And then I got to a point where I would just buy two and three of everything. Because she was going to take it.
She was going to take it anyway.
Yeah. She don't even want it. She was just taking it.
Whew, honey, listen. Okay, so we got to... That was just so good. I like your story. You wouldn't know it looking at you because you are very poised. Even I kept saying when we got started on the camera, I said, she sure is sitting up all high and tall and everything. She going to get comfortable at some point. And you finally did. I saw you finally lean back into the chair. So as a hostess, that actually, I watch body language. I truly believe, and I feel like you can definitely know when somebody is engaged. Mm-hmm. It's not put on. It's not showmanship. It's true authenticity. And so it's not just in the words, but it's also in the body, right? And I can tell now you've gotten very, very comfortable, which warms my heart as well. So, all right. So we have covered a lot. We've covered the childhood. We've covered emotional trauma, course correcting with that. We've covered learning about our purpose, adding to our passion, giving back to the community, resetting Sabrina, but also not losing Sis, right? Sis can still show up and still be poised. Sis now has a voice, right? We talked about what this future father of the children would look like.
It's not even that many things. It's just two things.
Right. Very easy.
Stable, you got to stay home and do something because something happened to me. I don't want my kids,
That's right.
Sad.
That's right. Yeah.